"Sit down, children, and I will tell you a story." It was New Year's Eve. The weather was cold. It was snowing. The little match seller was walking through the cold, snowy streets, saying in a loud voice,
The little girl shouted, "I have matches, please buy them."
But no one paid any attention to her. Everyone hurried past her and left. A woman appeared from a distance. The girl ran to her and begged, "Madam," the woman said, "I don't need it, my dear. I have plenty of matches at home." The snow was falling faster. The little girl was shivering from the cold. "Oh, how cold it is. I have to back home, but I can't go back until I sell the matches, because my father will beat me again." The girl stopped. She put her frozen hands to her mouth and said ha to them, and then she started walking again. But no one came to her. No one bought a match from her. The girl was hungry. She had not eaten anything since morning. Her heart was weak with hunger. A delicious smell of food rose from the house. "Oh, what a good smell. I'm so hungry. I have to sell the matches and get home soon. If I don't hurry, people will go home." Quickened his steps and raised his voice.
The little girl shouted, "I have matches, please buy them."
The little girl was about to cross the street when she suddenly heard a sound. It was the sound of a cart horse coming quickly towards her. The little girl was frightened. She quickly moved out of the way of the horse and cart, but her wooden shoes fell off her feet and she was thrown into the snow. "Oh, my wooden shoes, a memento of my dear mother. What should I do now? Where did they fall? How can I find them?" The little girl was shoveling snow with her cold, frozen hands, and she was looking for her wooden shoes. Suddenly her eyes fell on the other side of the street. There was one of her shoes lying in the snow. The little girl shouted happily, "There it is!" and he ran to the other side of the street. But as soon as he tried to pick up the shoe, a mischievous and evil child came along and snatched the shoe from his hand, and he said mischievously, "What a good thing I found. When I grow up, I will make it my baby's cradle." Then he ran away. The little girl was walking barefoot on the cold, snowy street. It was snowing heavily. The girl's hair was white from the snow. There was no one left on the streets. Everyone had gone home. Light was shining through the windows of the houses. The laughter of children who were happily waiting to eat their mother's cooking. The little match girl sighed and said, "Good for them. I loved my mother's cooking too. How happy I was when she was alive." Her feet were numb from the cold. She wanted to go home, but he still hadn't sold a single match. He couldn't take another step and sat down under the arch of a porch. He tried to warm his hands and feet with his breath, but it was useless. The little girl said to herself, "I'm cold. I'd better light a match, maybe I'll warm up a little." Then she struck one of the matches against the wall. The match lit up. A warm, bright stove appeared in the middle of its flame. The little girl said happily, "How good! Now I can warm myself with this stove." But as soon as she tried to get close to the stove and warm herself, the stove went out. Only one burnt match was left in her hand. The little girl took another match and struck it against the wall. This time in the middle of the match flame, the little girl saw a dish full of food. Oh, what food! In the dish were plums, apples, and a roasted goose, from which a delicious steam was rising. The little girl was looking at the dish with joy and surprise. Suddenly before her eyes, a fried goose flew with a knife and fork stuck in its back. The little girl reached out to catch the goose, but the match flame went out and the imaginary food disappeared. There was no sign of the food. Before the little girl's eyes was only a high, cold wall. He lit the third match. The fire flared up and the Christmas tree with its several lit candles sparkled with joy. The little girl's face was filled with joy. "What a tree! It's even more beautiful than the rich people's Christmas trees." The little girl reached out to the tree, but at that moment the match went out. The Christmas tree disappeared. Only the flame of one of the candles remained, and it rose rapidly, and soon it became a star and stuck to the sky. It was as if a Christmas tree had been painted in the sky. The little girl looked up at the sky in surprise. "How beautiful is it?" And suddenly she saw a star fall from the sky. She said to herself, "So someone is going to die tonight." He had learned this from his grandmother. When his grandmother was alive, she used to say, "If a star falls to the ground, it means someone is dying and their soul is going to God." The little girl remembered her kind grandmother and said softly, "Grandma, I miss you so much." She lit the fourth match. Then, in the midst of the flame, she saw her kind grandmother. "Oh, my dear grandmother," and she jumped into her arms. The grandmother hugged and kissed her tenderly. The girl told her grandmother about her hardships and problems. Then she cried, "Good grandmother, don't leave me. I know that when the match goes out, you'll be as hot as a hot stove and a goose, and the Christmas tree will disappear, right?" At that moment, the match flame went out. Grandma's face also disappeared into the darkness. The little girl screamed, "No, Grandma, don't go. I don't want you to go. I want you to stay with me." Then she took all the matches out of the box and said to herself, "I'll burn them all. Maybe I can save Grandma." The girl threw the bunch of matches against the wall. The fire flared up and lit up the surroundings. In the light of the fire, the grandmother's face appeared again. The little girl cried out, "My good grandmother, my dear grandmother, don't leave me alone." The grandmother smiled. Then gently, she hugged the little girl. The grandmother said, "You are still a child," and left. The little girl cried and gently closed her eyes. A couple found her on the street and took her to their home. The woman brought a bowl of hot water and put the girl's feet in the hot water. When the little girl came to her senses, the lady made her some hot soup, and then the little girl explained to them what a delicious goose she had seen in her dream. Since the man was a cook, he cooked a goose for the girl, and the girl was happy and ate the delicious goose. The next day they gave her food and the cooked goose, and said goodbye to the girl. When the little girl arrived home, her father was worried about her. He saw that she had returned home and was asleep. He kissed her and said, "Forgive me, I have done wrong to you.